Scary babysitting stories. Back in 2003, I babysat for a single mother who had 3 daughters. They were aged 5, 7, and 9. So one day I'm there watching the kids when someone knocks on the door. The 5-year-old goes running up and I'm like, whoa, don't open that door. Let me go check it. I look out the window and I see 2 men wearing suits and hats holding Bibles and they're still knocking on the door. And I'm like, oh shit. Here in the Bible Belt, they don't just talk to you about religion. They harass you until you open the door and then shove their beliefs down your throat. So in a polite way, I yell through the door, "We're not interested. Have a nice day." So I stand there and watch as the 2 men walk down the road to the next house and they knock on that door, but they don't get an answer there either, and then they keep walking on down the street. So I'm thinking, okay, well, they're gone. No big deal. Around 8 o'clock that evening, we're sitting in front of the TV eating chicken nuggets and mac and cheese when we hear a tap, tap, tap. I mean, a hard tap. Like, it's not the damn cops was knocking on the door. So, of course, again, the kids jump up and I'm like, don't open that door. I'll get it. So I run over and I look to the door. And again, it's the same 2 men. By now, I'm getting shitting. I done told y'all we're not interested. Have a nice day. And now here you are again. So this time I say it firmly. I told you we're not interested. Now leave the property. Ma'am, can we just come in for a moment? No, you're not coming up in here. Now get the fuck out of here. Y'all, this man gonna keep knocking. Knock, knock, knock. Let us come in and talk for a minute. I said, did you not hear what I said? I'm calling the cops. And that was when they turned around and walked away. So I go sit the 3 kids down and I say, listen here. And I want you to listen good. I wanted to be as firm and clear as I could be with them. Do not, under any circumstance, open that door. Any door in this house. And the 9-year-old said, but he had a Bible. I said, just because he had a Bible doesn't mean he's a good person, honey. You don't know who these people are. They're strangers. They could be dangerous. So around 3 a.m., the youngest one, who was 5, she still wasn't fully potty trained. So I get up and I go with her to the bathroom. While she's doing her business, I'm standing in front of the bathroom mirror looking at my eye bags, and I just get this weird feeling. We all know that woman's intuition. When your body's telling you something strange is going on, I get so creeped out, I don't even make her wash her hands. I just go put her in the bed with her sisters and shut the door. Neighbors had a dog, and I could hear that dog barking, so I got a little bit nervous, and I start walking around the house looking, but I don't see anything. Unfortunately, this woman had no real weapons in her home. So now I'm really kicking myself for not bringing my pew-pew because I'm feeling like I might need it. So I stay up all night long, don't see anyone. When their mom got home, I told her about the 2 men coming and how they kept knocking and how they'd been walking up down the neighborhood and that she better keep her eye out. She said, oh, they're just Jehovah's Witnesses. I said, you don't know who they are. Just because they're holding a Bible doesn't mean they're a Jehovah's Witness or a good person. They're total strangers. We don't know who they are, so keep your damn eyes open. But she would always reassure me, this is one of the safest neighborhoods. I grew up here, Alicia. Nothing ever happens here. And I'm like, dude, don't say that. So about a week and a half later, their mom calls me yelling, Alicia, come here, hurry up. The law's on their way. Get over here. So I go. As I'm pulling up, I can't park because the driveway is blocked with police cars, so I have to park on the opposite side of the street. And when I walk up to the house, I see the screen from the living room windows has been popped off and it's leaning up against her house. Somebody took the screens off trying to get in the window, but they couldn't get in because the windows were locked. So I get in the house and sit down with the mom, and she starts telling me about how her daughters were almost kidnapped. And I instantly felt like it was those 2 men. She said, yeah, just an hour or so ago, there was someone knocking at the door. So she opened the big door and there was 2 men in suits and hats standing there. One was holding a Bible and they were saying that they were on a mission and their car had broken down and now they need to use a phone to get a ride so they can get home. She said, well, you can't come in, but I'll bring you the house phone. Just wait there. Well, right when she started to close the big door, the guy on the right snatched the screen door open and pushed his way in and they started fighting. While mom's fighting him, the other guy's running throughout the house, opening bedroom doors, yelling, where the hell is she? So the first guy has her in a bear hug while the other guy's looking for the kids. Just so happened the neighbor across the street came out to crank his truck up to get ready for work, and he heard all the commotion and saw her front door open, so he ran over to help. He found the one man holding her in place, so him and that man started fighting, and then she took off running throughout the house looking for the other man. When she ran to her daughter's bedrooms, only 2 daughters were there, and they were crying huddled up, saying the other daughter was gone. So she runs around to the back door, and it's standing wide open, so she knows that man has got her child, and he's already out the door. Well, the wife of the neighbor across the street has come out with her phone, and she's called the police. They're on their way, and she starts running around the house, helping the mom look for the man who has that child. The neighbor's wife and the mom found her 5-year-old daughter hiding in a bush on the backside of the house. That little girl saved her own life by fighting back. As he tried to carry her out the yard, she was kicking, screaming, and biting, fighting him, and he couldn't carry her, so he dropped her. The man in the house fighting with the neighbor took off running, and the neighbor couldn't catch him. Neither of those men were ever caught, and that terrifies me. So y'all, please keep your doors locked and don't underestimate anyone, even if they're carrying a Bible.
There's a man in Chicago who claims he's been alive for 900 years, and the terrifying part, he knows things he shouldn't. They call him the Infinite Man, and once you hear his story, you'll understand why even the police refused to write an official report. It started when officers found a homeless man wandering downtown, old coat, torn shoes, mumbling to himself. But when they tried talking to him, he spoke perfect Middle English, not modern English, the kind spoken in the 1100s. When they brought him in, he suddenly switched accents. French, then Latin. Then something a linguist later said hasn't been spoken on Earth for hundreds of years. He told them his name was Iman, and that he was born in the year 1134. At first, the officers thought he was confused until he started recounting historical events with impossible accuracy. Battles, kings, floods, even the exact weather conditions on days that historians only partially reconstructed. Then he told them something even stranger. He doesn't live through time, he slides through it. He said every time he dies, he wakes up somewhere else. Different year, different country, different life, same consciousness. Almost like his soul can't stay in one timeline, like it's unstuck. One officer asked how many times it's happened. He said, "I don't count anymore, but your world is the noisiest one I've been in." They asked him how he ended up here in 2025. He said he drowned in the 1600s and woke up gasping out on the shore of Lake Michigan just a few months ago. When they pressed him for the details, he said something that made everyone in the room go silent. "I don't think I'm the only one sometimes. I see people who recognize me from lives I don't remember." And before they could question him further, he vanished. Not escaped, not ran, just gone. One minute he was sitting in the chair, the next the room was empty. Security cameras glitched for exactly 7 seconds. No explanation, no trace. But the officers who interviewed him all described the same feeling, that the moment he disappeared, something in the room felt colder, like a part of history got erased right in front of them. If the Infinite Man was telling the truth, where is he now? And how many lifetimes has he lived since the last time someone saw him? Stay weird.
Story time on how I encountered a reptilian in August of 2023. I wish I was kidding. I really wish I was kidding, but I'm not. And I know that it seems like I am, because I never ever I don't make content like this. I don't make storytime content. It's just this trap looking hot, boyfriend, friends, and then that's it. But this, I talk up, like I need to talk about it, guys. Okay, so to start the story off, my best friend and I, let me call my best friend B. B and I were going to Kimberley to attend a funeral of the grandfather that passed away, right? And so our form of transport was like a taxi. You know those taxis where they leave town and you have to wait hours on end before you can move anywhere because it takes so long to get filled up, right? So B and I were waiting for hours, and closer to the time where we are departing, this one guy comes in. Now B and I are sitting at the very, very back, like the last row, back, right? And this guy that comes in, the very important character in the story, right? He sits in front of us. Now, there is nothing particularly like special or eye-catching about this guy. Like, he's your most generic looking, average colored guy, right? He was wearing like after work clothes, and you know, it wasn't that thing where he had special eyes or had like special like bodily features where you can be like, oh, you know, like there might have been something. No. But anyway, to go on, so we leave around the evening, like about like 6 to 7, right? So it's like winter time, so it's like already hella dark. And you know how like taxis work, they only switch on the lights when someone is about to go out, but the rest of the time it's like dark. You only see silhouettes of people, right? Cool. So now, like closer to getting to our destination, I think we were like about 10 to 15 minutes away from arriving in Kimberley, right? When something told me to like suddenly look at the guy that was in front of me. Like something told me like, like, I don't know, like my intuition just told me, look at him. So I did, right? And when I did, only then did I have a reason now to really stare at him, because all of a sudden guy was on some checking the coast and some shit. Like, now you look suspicious. So I'm a stare. And now I'm like, okay, what is he busy like, you know, being suspicious about? When all, bro, like I'm getting goosebumps again. When I kid you not, bro, his tongue, and I'm not talking world Guinness record, over here, his tongue became so long, and he stuck his tongue out like a snake or a lizard and did that thing, bro. His tongue was like, oh, and he did that like a couple times, like a snake, guys. Like it was natural, like right? He did that, and I freak out, bro. Like I fucking freak out. Like, but I'm not like dramatic about it. I'm just like, you know, taken aback, and I guess, but it's not even loud. But he somehow hears me and turns around. It became defensive, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, bro, I just caught this guy doing whatever, and he knows now that I know what he is, or what the fuck is going on. So I'm like, okay, no. I try to wake B up. I'm like, yo, B, wake up. And I can see that this guy's now paying attention to what I'm about to say to B, because he knows now that I know. And so now I'm like, I'm feeling watched, I'm feeling listened to, and I'm like, okay, Never mind, go back to sleep. We'll talk when we get there. So we get there, right? We take our bags out. We're waiting for B's dad to pick us up, right? And there is quite a distance between me and B and that guy. Like, it's a distance. Like, we got off the same taxi, but when we were waiting, like, there was a distance, like a huge distance. We were here, he was there. And I look at him and I turn to, almost exposed the name. I turn to B and I'm like, B, this is gonna sound crazy. I know. Cause like, I never believed in this shit, bro. Like, shit like reptilians and vampires, bro. Like, those stuff seems so fictional to me. And I was like, guys, come on. But yo, right? And so I'm like, bro, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but that guy over there, like, I don't think he's 100% human. Guys, when I tell you this man somehow heard me with his superhuman hearing, he heard me say this to B and literally turns, like he's holding his bag and then turns to like our direction, like his front is facing us, and then like he's staring at me like this the entire time. Bruh. And I'm like, B, bro, how far is your dad? Like, dead ass, how far is your dad? And B's like, no, my dad is almost here, don't freak out. And guys, I don't blame B for like underreacting, because like B was going through grief and a lot was going on in that month. A lot was going on. So we didn't really get to like break down what the fuck happened, because August of that year was absolutely insane for everyone, right? So yeah, this guy's staring, I'm freaking out. Dad arrives, we get in the car, and I think about this like the entire night. I tell my partner at that time what happened, and like, but that was about it. That was it. We move on. The next day, it's the funeral. We're in the like church having the memorial. The memorial finishes. We leave the church. We're leaving to go to the car so that we can go to the cemetery, right? And so everyone is like scattered out and like everywhere. And out of everyone in the crowd, bro, mind you, like, this is not even my family, so I don't know anyone, but one person I freaking recognized. Take a guess. Literally, the guy from the taxi was at the funeral, and he wasn't even moving. He was seriously standing still and looking at me the same way he did the previous night, like this. And I know it sounds made up, but I'm not making this shit up. Like, guys, nah. So I'm like freaking out. So I turn to B and I'm like, hey B, that guy over there, do you know him? And here's the thing about B. B doesn't remember anything that went down. Like, B was tired, B's grieved, like, so B was just like, why are you paying attention to this person so much? Like, B didn't like clock what the hell was going on. So I'm just like, B, like, do you know this person? And B was like, no, I don't. No, like, not family, no. And I'm like, bro, did this man thing guy, I don't know, follow me to the funeral because I saw that he's not human? And I caught him in these like most comfortable, vulnerable, like, okay. But anyway, that is the story time. Like, this is like me like cutting it short, but yeah, crazy things are out there, guys. Like, some things are not fictional, some things are not myths, some things are not fake. A lot of the times, these stories and movies and shows have some truth in it. A lot of truth in it, because wow.
Not only are you not safe on the outside, if your relationship with God isn't how it should be, you're not safe in the church either. Scary story time. And this story comes from a Lugau herself. Like, she used to go to church for the sole purpose of targeting people, finding weak souls, finding those lukewarms, and ruining their lives. She was a churchgoer by day and Lugau flyer by night. She would wake up before church, do rituals before she gets to church. Go to church, praise with everybody else whole time. She ain't praising God. Go to church, ruin people's lives just by hugging them. shaking their hands, holding their kids. There are so many witches in church, y'all have no idea. Especially if it's a very good church. Like the covenant is very strong and God's presence is there. They will send people to ruin that church because that church cannot keep succeeding like they do. Because little do you know, when you go to church and everybody's praying, those prayers are doing so much more than you think. They are moving mountains. They are saving people's lives and you don't even know it. So of course they have to put a stop to it. So they send people around to churches to break up that church. And she was one of those people. Now, before I tell y'all this, I should let you guys know that she is an actual Christian now. She had to go through years and years and years and years of trials and tribulations to actually be able to walk with God the right way. Because the moment she decided that she didn't want to walk with those people anymore, they made her life hell. And she gave me this stories, which is one of her many, 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 many stories of how she broke up a family at the church. And it was the most important family. It was the pastor's family. Now, before I tell y'all the story, I want to touch on the fact that a lot of you guys complain that I don't do the whole 10 minutes. But little do y'all know, I do it sometimes. But whenever I do those 10-minute videos, they never get pushed out. I don't know what it is about it. Like, y'all don't see it on the For You page. You would have to physically go to my page in order to see that I posted. But whenever I split the stories, it gets pushed out like nothing. So I understand how aggravating it can be for, like, stories to, like, you know, be split. But that's how I have to do it. So you guys can actually see the story times. I do take a little long sometimes, I admit. But I have a life, y'all. But anyway, on to the story, which is going to be on the next part. I'm sorry.
Can we show them the older homestead?
Yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
It went to both.
Yeah.
My skin is turning yellow, so I'm gonna do my makeup to cover it up and ignore the fact that I probably have an underlying health issue that I need to go get checked out, but I have no money and no insurance, so yeah, let's just do our makeup and cover it up. Also, I'm gonna tell you a really scary story time about something that I remember when I was 6 years old. Just realized that I'm all out of foundation, so I can't do a full beat today. That's okay. We're gonna do the eyes. Okay, so let's take it back. Take it back. Okay, whoa. Not the table. Let's not take the table back. Okay. No, okay, so let's take it back to when I was 6 years old. So it was Christmas morning, or like Christmas Eve night. Like everybody was sleeping, but 6-year-old me was like trying my hardest to stay awake so that I could see Santa Claus. I wanted to catch him in the act. I was like, I'm gonna be the first kid on this earth that sees Santa Claus. You know, little kids. So I'm like sitting up, waiting to hear a noise, like almost falling asleep, when I hear like a slight kind of shuffling noise coming from the living room. So I'm like, oh fuck, it's Santa. Now is my time to shine. I'm gonna go see him. So I'm super fucking excited. I run to my door, spring out of bed as fast as I can, and I go and I kind of peek around my door frame, whatever. And the first thing I notice is the green glow of the Christmas tree, which is normal for my house. Like, my family used to always turn the Christmas tree lights to green at night. I think it was to match the stockings because my mom had like a green kind of theme for her stockings. Not just stockings, but like she had like a theme for every room, like a color theme for every room, and the color theme for the living room was green. Not that that matters. Actually, it does kind of matter. Well, I remember just thinking like, how magical is my house? And like, you know, my little 6-year-old brain just being so grateful that my mom was the type of mom to like set up the house so nice for Santa's arrival. And I just remember right as I was thinking that is when I saw something from my chimney, aka the fireplace, which was like directly in view of my room, in the hallway of everybody's room, basically. As the guy like finally got out from the chimney, I noticed that he was green. And thinking back on it now, I'm pretty sure it definitely was. It absolutely was the glow of the green lights like reflecting off of his outfit. I'm pretty sure he was wearing all black or something like that. Obviously, he was trying to rob our fucking house. I watched this guy as he is literally taking out a pillowcase and fucking like going under my tree, going under our family's tree and stuffing up his fucking shit with all of our presents. I was like, yo, that's the fucking Grinch guy. The Grinch is in my house. No way. I was floored. I was floored. I think that was like the first year that my mom showed me the Grinch movie, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the real one, like the real people one, like the one where he actually looked really scary. And so I was really thinking like this was it. He's gonna steal the presents, he's gonna steal the tree, he's gonna steal us, and he's just gonna take off and we're not gonna have a Christmas. So at that point I froze and I'm standing in the doorway staring at him doing this, tears welling up in my eyes. I didn't know what to do. I thought Christmas was over. As if it was like a Christmas miracle, a miracle from Santa Claus himself. The guy, the Grinch, stepped on the only loose floorboard in our living room and it creaked so fucking loudly that it woke up my dog that was sleeping in my parents' bedroom. And she went ballistic. She went absolutely fucking insane, which then woke up my whole family. And thankfully, my stepdad and the dog ran out of the bedroom. This is like what I remember in my brain, okay? I was 6, so it's kind of jumbled for me, but I remember like seeing the door of their bedroom bust open and the dog flew out first. Then my stepdad ran out behind the dog and oh my God, it scared me so bad that was when I like hop, skipped, and jumped back into my bed. I got some bravery back and I ran back over to my door frame and I peeked around to see like how this was gonna go down, what was gonna happen, if he was going to catch the Grinch, if we were gonna get like, if Christmas was gonna be saved. But I never got to really see anything except for the fact that my stepdad had fucking like intercepted the man. I'm pretty sure he had him in his grip and that's all I saw. That's all I saw because my mom came out of the bedroom, realized that I was awake and watching the situation go down. So she ran out of her bedroom, grabbed me, threw me in her room, locked me in her bedroom, ran back out, went into my brother's room, grabbed my brother, ran back into her room, locked us all in there. And that's pretty much all I know about the situation. Because, like I said, I was 6 years old. They kept all of that from me. I wasn't supposed to know any of it. The cops were called, and the guy did get arrested because my dad like ended up detaining him in the house until the police got there. And we did get all of our presents back. So Christmas was not stolen by the Grinch. And I was really happy about that. And I don't know why I didn't tell my mom that I saw the guy come in, because I just didn't want her to like either not believe me or like freak out even more. Plus, I was just happy that we got to have a relatively normal Christmas after that. And then I pretty much forgot about it for the rest of the day until I was older. I don't know, it was fucking scary. Also, this is not my best look. This is not my best job. I'm pretty concerned about my yellow skin. Why is my skin turning yellow?
Scary Storytime Skinwalker Edition while I make clay slime sent in by fans. Keep the money flipping is all I know, baby, you know. I felt so bad because Annabelle sent me this story like months ago and I just now seen it. But anyways, y'all know, get your money's worth and what? Let it drain. Okay, I don't want it to like spill this time, but... So Annabelle was like 11 years old when her family decided that they were going, for the summer, they were going to spend like, what? They were going to spend a summer in a cabin. There we go. So this was her little brother's idea, but her and her other brother were like, I don't think that we should do this. Like, I don't want to. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. So her family go to the cabin anyway. Even though she doesn't think that this is a good idea, she's like 11 years old. What could she freaking do? When I say the cabin is in the middle of nowhere, the cabin was in the middle of nowhere. Like, the nearest store was like 30 minutes from where they were at. Now, the first couple of days, they go camping, they go hiking, and it's all fun, but at the same time, Annabeth has a feeling that something is watching her and it's not leaving her alone. So after a week of them being in this cabin, the parents have to obviously go to the store for more supplies. So they leave pretty late. So they leave like around like maybe like 9. And again, the nearest store is like 30 minutes away from them. So they're not going to be back until later, okay? I overactivated it. So around 10:30, it was time for Annabeth and her little brother to go to sleep. Now, Annabeth is sharing a room with her little brother and her dog. Now, at this point, an hour and 30 minutes has passed. And the older brother decided to sleep in the room with the rest of them. So literally everyone is like dozing off into that deep sleep when they hear like this loud thud. So obviously this literally scares them awake. My cat keeps attacking me. A few minutes after that, they hearing walking down the hallway. So like they hear footsteps, and the first thought that they have is it's their parents, because it's been like 2 hours and their parents is nowhere to be found. So the footsteps walks all the way down the hallway and stop directly in front of their door, and it knocks 3 times. Now when it's finished knocking, they go, "Oh, who is it?" And the whatever it is says, "Kids, come out, dinner is ready." Now initially the little brother tried to run to go open the door, but Annabeth stopped him because Annabeth realized that they ate dinner before their parents left. "What are you talking about?" "I'm adding the clay." Now Annabeth replies and say, "We're not hungry, Mom." And the whatever it is gets really angry and goes, "Yes you are, come out and eat." Now this is when the big brother locks in and he's like, "Wait a second, yeah, that's not our mom. Like, our mom's not going to talk to us like that. Plus our mom literally fed us before she left, so this is weird." So the little boy is kind of like wrestling with his older sister, and Annabeth is trying her hardest to stop the little brother to going to opening the door. Now just as the little boy was about to open the door, they hear a car pull up in the driveway. When the car pulls up, the whatever is outside their door makes the weirdest noise known to man, and then it just stops, and then the parents come in the house. The parents go to check on the kids, and the kids are obviously freaked out. But Annabeth says she feels like she experienced a skinwalker or a mimic, because it was just like surreal and it sounded just like her mother, and she feels like if they would have opened the door, it would have been a different story. Now look at my unicorn slime. I want to call it cotton candy. It smells really good. I put like pink little polka dots in it. Really pretty.
I live in a town that's terrorized by a creature that shouldn't exist. Small town in Texas where not much happens here. The kind of town where everybody knows everybody's business, and the cops will give you a ticket for going 5 over because there's no real crime in the area. But one night 3 years ago, everything changed. There were some local teens in the town that decided to go explore and look for paranormal activity. They went out exploring deep in these supposedly haunted woods, where they stumbled upon a bridge. Now this bridge is known to be home of the Goat Man. The Goat Man is a 7-foot tall creature with horns protruding out of his skull and claws for fingers. Now he is known to be a cryptid, but unlike most cryptid, he is not afraid of people. He is known to be extremely violent. Now legend has it, if you go to the bridge and you knock on it 3 times, it will summon the Goat Man. Now these kids weren't having any luck finding ghosts or spirits in the forest, so they decided to try the local legend. Now there is an unspoken rule that you should never knock on Goatman's bridge, because if you do, he may take you. He doesn't take everyone, but he does take some. So the teens went onto the bridge and they knocked on the bridge 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. But nothing seemed to happen. They laughed, they joked, they gave up. Oh, I guess it's just a legend. And they started to walk back to their car. As they were walking back to their car, they couldn't help but feel like they were being followed. It almost sounded like there was an extra set of footsteps. They kept turning around, but there was nothing there. They felt like maybe they were just paranoid. They started driving back to town. When they got to the edge of town, a local sheriff pulled them over. "What are you guys doing out here?" he asked them. They explained that they were just having fun. He was making sure, teens, they weren't drinking and driving, and they weren't, so he let them go. That was the last time those 5 teenagers were seen. The car was found parked in the local library's parking lot. But that's not even the weirdest thing. The weirdest and most terrifying part of all of this is that ever since those teens went missing, things have started to change in this little town. The fog has started rolling in just at dusk, and the legend says if you go outside when the fog rolls in and the moon is high, you can still see the Goat Man dragging something behind him.
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
One of the scariest things I saw when I was a housekeeper, story time. I got put on the highest floor in the hotel after a coworker laid out, and most people did not want to work up there because we thought it was haunted. So I start making my rounds going housekeeping, and everybody answers their door except for one guest who was at the end of the hallway in the penthouse. I knocked repeatedly, but nobody answered the door, so I left. I tell my inspector that I'm done for the day, and everybody got service except for that last room because they didn't come to the door. And my inspector said, "Wait, that's weird. She didn't get service last week either. We better check on her." Now, I didn't know it at the time, but this guest actually actually worked for the hotel. She created their artwork, so she got free room and board and had been living in that room for years. Typically, she would get toilet paper, towels, and linens every couple of days, but as of now, she hadn't gotten anything in over a week. So because this guest lived there full time, we didn't have a key to her room, so my inspector had to go down to management and get a key so we could open the door and check on her. When my inspector opened that door, we were hit by a metallic copper smell. It was so strong. The entire room was covered with... It looked like something out of a horror movie, like a massacre. I mean, the walls, the chairs, the bed, the headboard, the sliding glass doors, the bathroom door, the mirror. It was just everywhere. We found the woman sitting on the bed, leaned up against the headboard, facing the sliding glass doors, and she looked like she had literally been drained. The room was glowing red because she had painted the sliding glass doors with her... and the sun was shining through it, and it was illuminating this bright red hue all over the room. There were so many different shades of red and brown all over the room. To me, it looked like she lost it and tried to paint the room with her... The sheriff's department comes, and they determine that she unalived herself, and they found the note that she left behind, but I don't know what it said. I didn't see it. Again, because I didn't work that floor, I did not know this woman personally, but my coworker did, and she said she was always so nice, polite, and kind. She was always giving her free artwork, carrying on conversations, and that she just seemed really lonely. She would go to her room to give her service. This woman would talk her head off because she didn't have anyone else to talk to but the employees, so she spent a lot of time in her room alone. Nobody visited her. Nobody ever came to check on her. She didn't get phone calls. Like, they didn't think she had a family because she was always alone. But like vultures to a carcass, not long after we found her, her family shows up and they demand access to her room because they want her stuff. They weren't asking how did she die, how long has she been in there. They just want to know what does she have. And her family spends over 3 hours arguing with the police in the hallway about why the police won't let them go in the room, you know, because it's covered in blood. They don't care. All they cared about was getting access to her room safe and getting the code for it because they wanted what was in it. They were asking us, what kind of car does she drive? Is it expensive? Do you know where she parked it? Did she wear a lot of jewelry? Did she tip good? Like, they were so rude. Her brother was in the hallway yelling, I'm not paying to have that room cleaned. She created that mess, and I'm not paying for a funeral either. I just want to know the safe code and where are her car keys. I've been waiting over an hour. I've asked at least 4 people where does she park her car, but nobody seems to know where her car is. And I'm like, bitch, maybe had you ever come to see her, you would know where her car is. Then they all start arguing about who's going to plan and pay for her funeral, and nobody wants to do it. It made me sad that she lived in this hotel for years and never had a visitor until she died, and now they all got their hands out. Her family didn't even want her artwork, so the hotel left it up on the walls. I think the hotel staff were the only ones that ever cared about her.